Good day, dear friend. Welcome. Welcome to this, what is this, Thursday morning, about 12:15, a little earlier. I say a hearty hello and a hi-yo silver and a welcome to you, dear friend. I was watching this morning, before I came along, before this event, I was watching something which almost made me sad, almost made me yearn for a time that I don't think we're ever going to see again. But it doesn't mean that I can't try my best to try to reconnect. And that is when, I guess when I was a kid, I remembered watching William F. Buckley and watching Gore Vidal. Gore Vidal was probably my favorite of them all. And to hear people who were so incredibly great at being witty and literate and speaking, and they never worried about being, being too smart or having somebody say, "What does that word mean?" They were actually lauded for it. They were encouraged. It was a wonderful thing. And I don't know when it changed. I don't know when it happened, when it went away. I don't know when the time was, but it was one of those things, one of those events where I think to myself, my God, it was really, really it was a wonderful event. And I was watching, of all people, Gore Vidal. Let me see, have I correctly activated my monetization? Let me see something. This is very important. Let me see if I've done this. This is something which is very difficult to very, very difficult to explain. But for those of you who don't know this, you probably aren't. Let's see, analytics, shopping. Interesting. I do not know. Bear with me, dear friends. Bear with me. I'm not seeing you. I see that you are there, but I do not see your countenance. Perhaps I have not handled my, let me see this. Let me keep talking and then we'll figure this thing out in a moment. So anyway, I was listening to Gore Vidal and I almost wept. I wept because there was a time in this country when we were so smart, when we appreciated smart. And we appreciated people who were literate and brilliant, and we just loved them. We loved everything about them. William F. Buckley used to be a show I remember watching as a kid. And I was so in love with the whole effort because I thought to myself, I knew I was watching something special. And I knew I was watching something that was really important. And I was seeing something that I thought was really critical. And I'm wondering, where do we have that now? In fact, I was watching, remember the great special about the enemies, when Gore Vidal and William F. Buckley saved, or actually set records for virtue of what they did. How do I say this? During their great debate. It was one of the most wonderful pieces ever. And I thought to myself, my God, this is so important, it's so critical. And I wonder if anybody really gets it. I wonder if anybody really understands it. I wonder if people really understand and grasp what is happening right now. Well, to make a long story short, I'm in the position right now where I am not able to find it anywhere. There are some people that I deal with sometimes who are so incredibly stupid. And I hate to say it, but I'm in a position where they are so incredibly stupid, and I can't I can't really do anything about it. And maybe I'm a snob. Maybe I'm some kind of a snob. Maybe I've turned into some kind of a thing. I don't know. I would hate to think so. In any event, let me check something right now. I do not see your... I do not see your ability to speak. And I'm wondering, where is this from? I know you're there, dear friends. I know you're there. And I'm trying to see, where is it? Because I know you're there and I can see the numbers are rising. But I don't know why I don't see your voice. In any event, as we're doing this, today's picture is something which celebrates what I believe is, and I'm sorry to say, I don't want this to be true, but what I'm seeing is might be the end of the serious career of one Pamela Jo Bondi. And I'm sorry to say this because she is such a good person. And I think she had such a great such a great attempt. She really wanted to make a big difference. And that Binder Gate was probably the end of everything, sad to say. And it was something which I saw. There we go. Ladies, I see a clap. There we go. Let me see. Hang on 1 second. I've got to text my wife. I will in about 25 minutes, period. I'm a big dictator. I dictate a lot. In any event. So I was talking to somebody, friends of mine from Tampa, people who are big in the Republican business. And I see that they are not able to grasp. I see that they are not able to grasp the severity and the complexity and the chess that is politics. And I know I've said it before and I'll say it again. The politics part is the most difficult for me to explain to people. Some people think, or they're of the opinion for some reason or another, that there is some kind of logic, I guess, something that occurs where when you're right, everything is terrific. You know, when you're right and you're correct, so to speak, everything else will work. That President Trump is the best person and therefore we have nothing to worry about because he's the best candidate. And Epstein will be vindicated. This Maureen Comey, why did it take this long? I don't understand it. Why did it take this long? Doesn't anybody know what's going on? And I'm going to tell you something. I know a lot of people do not care for my views of the president because they are finding what I'm saying to be pretty, dare I say, disputatious of our great president. But he is doing so many things which I find to be so incomprehensibly boneheaded. I don't know what to say. And I guess because I'm perceived as being what am I trying to say? I guess as I'm seen as being this crazed supporter of the president, of which I am, and I'm very proud of that. People have this idea that somehow I have to like everything he's doing, and I cannot put that into effect. I do not like everything he's doing. I think some of the stuff he's doing is frankly so stupid it's not even funny. There we go. There we go. I just saw something. I just figured out what happened. Sorry for the delay, dear friends. Somebody has sent me an email as to what is going on in Gaza. And it was very, very matter of fact, very, very specific. And the email says something to the effect, if you don't understand, these people that I quote, Colonel McGregor and others, are so biased, quote, they are so biased that they are without any, I guess, I don't know what the word is, any justification, any credibility whatsoever. And I'm thinking to myself, do these people know how horrible what is going on right now with the death and the carnage? I mean, is there anybody here who honestly does not understand it? Do you think it is somehow truly, dare I say, anti-Semitic to really honestly suggest that there's this error in, or the people believe there is an error in saying that what is happening there is beyond anything I've ever seen? I don't want to use words like it breaks my heart, because my heart doesn't break. I'm just used to things. I'm very, very callous. I don't expect anything to occur, especially when it comes to war and the like. But how anybody can look and see what Israel is doing and not understand it, and not say, look, I know it's brutal, but these are different times. It is our goal to remove as many people as possible, to shift everybody out of Gaza, to depopulate, to ethnically cleanse. We want it to be greater Israel. I would appreciate that more than anything else. I really would. If somebody told me the truth, I know that sounds horrible to say, but if somebody told me the truth, if somebody, honest to God, told me the truth and said, this is exactly what I want to do, I would say, you know what, I appreciate that. But I don't know what to tell you. Patrick says, it is all very interesting. Patrick Killalea, that's one of the best things anybody could write. Class is in session. Who can change the system when the system is designed to change you? Trump knows how to dance. Does he really? Does he really? Kinetic gentrification. Ooh, that's most cruel. But I like that. I like that not because of the concept. I like the way you phrase the words. Look, it comes down to simply this. And I realize this, that most people that I deal with really don't understand. And I know this sounds extremely kind of haughty, but people really do not understand what's going on. I mean it. And I'm hearing here at WABC, being in New York, people are going absolutely berserk when it comes to the whole notion of what is happening in terms of the race, the governor or the mayor's race. And what's interesting about it is that they don't want to recognize why it is that people might like this Zoran Mamdani. They have no interest whatsoever. They know that Zoran is wrong. They know that Zoran is an idiot. They know that Zoran is somehow corrupt. And they know that Zoran is somehow some Marxist, communist, whatever it is. And that's all they want to say. And they think that suffices. So I said, well, how do you plan on beating them? They have no idea. They literally have no idea. They're talking, and it's the most monumentally unimportant and mindless kind of chat you can imagine. I mean, it's mindless. But what am I going to do? In any event, my friend. So I'm getting a little bit of an earlier start. I want you to come and join us today on WABC. We have such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. I stay away, believe it or not, from as much politics as possible because I don't have the heart to say this, I don't think people really understand the complexity of it. It's like talking sports to somebody who really doesn't understand the way the game goes, the history of the game, the goals and that sort of thing. So unfortunately, that's kind of where we are with that. So in the meantime, as always, July 19th, Saturday night, looking forward to it at the Cutting Room. I'd love to see everybody there. I'd love to see you and just say hello. I don't even know what I possibly could say without scaring people. John Jelaine writes, how can NYC beat Zoran if LA couldn't beat Karen Bass? Well, you know what the thing is? I don't know. New York may want Zoran Mamdani. I know this is difficult for people to understand this, but they may say we like him. We like what he has to say. We like what he has to say about rent, even though there's no particular way that there's nothing he's saying as far as how he's going to tackle that. But I don't know what to tell you. And you bring up, and John, you bring up the best point. If people don't want that, this is a matter of I've got to get more people who are going to show up and vote and have that number, this sounds so silly, outweigh, outdo others as well. So it's that simple. Zoran says it with a smile, and he's very important, John. Very, very important, very, very critical. And he's also very, very, I know what the word is. He's very, very good at getting the point across. He's very, very good. He's excellent when it comes to getting the point across. So in any event, dear, 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 dear friends, I wish you nothing but the absolute best. I'm going to be jumping over, I think, and doing maybe a little bit of a hit on my Lionel Legal channel. Trying to balance the two out, trying to have two different worlds kind of merge together. Let me thank you as always, especially you, John, for your kindness, for your love. I want you to understand how much I appreciate you. I don't say that enough. I'm very remiss in that respect. I appreciate you like you cannot believe. And I mean that sincerely. Okay? So anyway, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. I'm going to be doing a few things to check what I'm doing. Have a wonderful time. I thank you so much. And until we meet again, my friends, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.